And what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. I am Hitmaster is back in the flesh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is just dying inside, but I'm good.
Wearing the, I assume it's a Red Wings shirt.
It's the Red Wings throwback and then the Seattle hat that lost, sadly. But
The
we're not going to talk about that.
duality of hockey, man. And then we've got a interesting background choice tonight. Hi there. Oh, buddy.
I created one that was a Pringleson and Company, but I decided not to do that because it involved something bad, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna recap the wild weekend in Darlington. Everything that went down there. Like I said in the last episode, the diecast that I ordered showed up. They are right next to me right now. I will. One of the reviews has already gone up at the time of this going up. The other one might have already gone up as well. I don't remember. But I'll show them both off and talk about them a little bit more. Had some other news stuff. Not a whole lot of other news things. We do have a couple though, and it's finally here, ladies and gentlemen. North Wilkesboro weekend is upon us. We will preview everything that's going on there. So, should be a fun episode, as always. So, we'll start with Darlington, the throwback weekend. I don't know if you got to watch what action you got to watch this weekend, if any.
I only got to watch the highlights.
I got to watch
That's about
most.
it.
I got to watch most of the truck race, most of the Xfinity race, but I didn't get to see any of the Cup race. So I had to watch the highlights from that. But the truck race was actually pretty entertaining, all things considered. It went to multiple overtimes. The only thing that really sucked about it, in my opinion, you have to remember it's the truck series. They're inexperienced, so there's going to be a lot of wrecks. There's going to be a lot of cautions for stupid shit that you won't expect to see once they move up to the Cup Series or even really the Xfinity Series. So of course there were a lot of crashes and whatnot. The racing was still very entertaining. Goes into multiple overtimes. The only thing that really sucked though was that the race ended under caution, which I thought was stupid. But I get it. Safety is the number one priority here. Didn't feel like it needed to end under caution though, but it did. So wonderful, I guess. Whatever. Not a huge deal. But Christian Eckes got the win in a beautiful throwback look on the 19 truck. So he ran a really good race. So definitely deserved the win. So congratulations to Christian Eckes there. And then for the Xfinity race, I got to watch most of it. We had the big one. We had a big one in Xfinity race. That was pretty awesome to see. It's very rare that we see a big one at Darlington. I don't think it's really ever. It's been a long time if it's ever happened at all, which makes it even more wild. And we had probably the wildest finish of the weekend between Kyle Larson and John Hunter Nemechek take place. Larson and Nemechek beating and banging up each other, running each other in the wall, bouncing off of each other on the last lap, hit the wall, and then Larson had the drive off on the high line in turn 4, and he got into the wall and absolutely punts John Hunter Nemechek into the inside wall. John Hunter spins across the line 6th, while Larson gets the win, his first ever win at Darlington in any of the 3 series, in a Larson-esque way. I know a lot of people probably aren't happy that Larson won this race. Now, they probably didn't even remember that he won this race based off of what happened in the Cup race. We'll get to that in a minute, though. But It was just good hard racing, all throughout, and I thought it was a pretty entertaining finish, all things considered. They were driving a little recklessly, I guess, for what you would call decent racing. It was not clean by anybody's standards, but can you really blame them? I mean, it's tight, close quarters at
Right.
Darlington, trying to go for the win. And I think a little bit of contact and a little bit of wrecking here and there makes it entertaining. And so it definitely kind of looked like that Larson made the final wreck on John Hunter Nemechek intentional at first glance, but there really wasn't anything else that he could have done. So it's not really too maddening for my part, but still a really good finish, though, all considered. And then the cup race. I'm like, nothing can get crazier than what we see in the Xfinity race. And the cup race happened. More so the last like 50 laps of the cup race. Actually, not even 50 laps. Maybe like last 80 laps or something of the cup race. First off, can I say I would like these races that like Darlington to only be ran at night, please. If you're gonna do these throwback paint schemes, can you please run them at night? A lot of them look better. It would look better at night. They didn't look that great in the daytime. Well, I can't say they didn't look that great. They did still look good, but they didn't look as good as they could have been if they had been ran in the daytime, which sucked. But most of the race was actually pretty tame for Darlington standard. It's called too tough to tame. It's pretty tame racing all for most of it. Then we got to the final like 80 so laps of the race. And we had two big ones during this race. I say Darlington, such a rare case that we get the big one. We saw one in the Xfinity race, and now we get two in the Cup Series. That's absolutely insane. The first one was caused by Eric Jones losing a tire, piled up in the back of the field, and then the second one was Truex running someone into the wall and then getting turned, and that caused a huge pile up at the front of the field. And speaking of Truex, he was up front and then spun, rebounded all the way to third, and then got caught up in that late wreck. Finishes, I think it was 31st, something like that. I don't quite remember, but a lot of other drivers were comers and goers throughout the day. Didn't really see anything out of Josh Berry, Kyle Larson, and Ross Chastain once again, the class of the field for much of the afternoon. And then what happens? They both wreck each other.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. Chastain had been they got actually some contact prior to that when the big wreck happened, and Chastain and Larson also got together during that, and then later in the race they got together again and wrecked each other late in the race, taking them both out, and that sparked a lot of controversy, which we'll get to in a minute. But with Chastain and Larson out of the race, that opened the door for William Byron, who then cruised on the late restart and brought home his third win of 2023. You're at Darlington. And I'm actually happy with that win because when we go back to a year ago, he was in that late battle with Joey Logano in that really beautiful throwback paint scheme. Gets punted into the wall and loses the race. This time around, running another beautiful throwback paint scheme, gets the job done and gets into victory lane. Controversy free. Well, okay, it wasn't controversy free, but he got into victory lane, and that's all that matters.
Also, I realized that it was the 24's 100th win
Yes,
at.
that's actually crazy as well.
Uh,
100 wins for the 24 car. I guess the only two that have ever won were Jeff Gordon and William Byron, because then Byron would have to have 7 wins because Gordon had 93. I thought Byron had more wins than that. I guess not. Looking back, he's got 3 this season. I guess he only had 1 every other season. So I guess 7's not too out of the far press, but that's pretty cool to win in Darlington 100th. But yeah, the main draw from this race was not William Byron winning. It wasn't even the big ones really. It was the Ross Chastain controversy. they were saying this is like the third straight race that there has been an incident involving Ross Chastain, or that he's been involved in. Third or fourth straight race. That's absolutely insane. Here's the thing, though. Okay, you're gonna continuously get mad at this guy. Okay, for getting in. I mean, it happened to all these drivers. Like, it was not just Chastain that were all sliding up, getting into each other, getting into the wall. It's a product of bad tire wear because Darlington's really bad on the tires. It's a product of the car. It's a product of slick heat conditions because they run it in the middle of the day in South Carolina on a sunny day. Run it at night, you don't see these issues. You run it earlier in the season, you don't see these issues. Later in the season, you don't see these issues. But, you know, you got to stick to that Mother's Day tradition, which is a cool thing, by the way, I will say. But you can't 100% blame it on Chastain. And you can't 100% blame it on Larson either. You just have to say that was racing. That was good racing. Bad result. That is that. Move on. Get done with what you need to get done. Move on. I am a Hendrick fan. Big Dale Jr. fan. Big Chase Elliott fan. When Rick Hendrick and Jeff Gordon go on a press conference post race, and Rick Hendrick just starts shit talking Ross Chastain for doing literally the same stuff that his drivers have been doing for years, and every other driver's been doing for years. I mean, holy God, you had Kyle Busch for 3 years. Kyle Busch did this all the time. And guess what? He still does. And you have Kyle Larson. Kyle's done this too. Literally 2 times last year, he punched Chase Elliott in the wall. Literally, you only are going after Ross Chastain so that you can think that you're in a guy in the right here. I think it's just petty and stupid that he's up there just bullshitting whatever the fuck he wants out of his mouth. And like, Gordon's not innocent either. Gordon was making comments, and other people are jumping in on this. I mean, I don't know. The blame can't be fully taken away from Ross Chastain either, because he's not owning up to this. He is the NASCAR's greatest. He's the next big NASCAR villain, and he's doing a really good job at it. But he's stupid because he's not owning up to his shit. And I think that's partially why people are getting super pissed off at Ross Chastain. He's being a big baby. He's not owning up to it when he's not going to change at all. And that's just own up to your mistakes. Is that not that hard, people? Come on. It's a simple racing mistake. Hard close quarter racing. And Rick Hendrick's like, oh, it's early in the season. Oh, well, when you have to win every single race just to win the goddamn championship nowadays, then of course you're going to be fighting to win every race. You know? It's just not right. I'll let you spit your take on this. I'm going to get some more.
I mean, having Ross Chastain be the basically Kyle Busch of NASCAR is actually pretty cool, because now we actually have a driver that isn't a Toyota that's a enemy.
Right.
And Ross Chastain's usually always like that, so I mean, then if you're going to do it with the UPS car.
That was beautiful. I loved that paint scheme so much. Great throwback. Larson's throwback was really good too. I liked a lot of the throwbacks this year. There's some good paint schemes. There was some news articles going around saying, is the throwback era, is the throwback paint scheme thing dead? No, I don't think it's dead. I think they're better than ever. There's some beautiful looks on the cars. Outside of Kevin Harvick's throwback, that was, I don't know what they were thinking there, but I think they're really cool. And I think they should be. I just wish it was still on Labor Day weekend, because the whole thing with the throwback weekend was that they were bringing the Labor Day Darlington race back for the first time in 12 years, and so they wanted to continue the tradition of throwing back with cool paint schemes. That was the whole deal. And then you move the throwback paint scheme weekend to the earlier Darlington race. Didn't make any sense. I think that was a disappointing. But I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that people are enthusiastic about it. It's a big deal throughout the season, to hear, oh, what paint schemes are going to come out, who's going to run what. And it's really cool how well people get invested into it. So I hope it doesn't go anywhere anytime soon, personally. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's the best choice for a driver to be like a rival. But let's be honest, there's going to be Kyle Busch coming back, and he's going to start wrecking people again.
Yeah, once he realizes that his thunder is being stolen, he's going to start punting people in the wall. Here's the thing. I like Ross Chastain. I think he's a good driver. I think he's what the sport needs. I really don't hate Kyle Busch anymore either. I used to really hate Kyle Busch when he was in the 18, but since he's moved over to the 8, I really haven't hated him as much. I don't know. I just think one, people need to get off his ass and realize that this has been going on for years. And two, Chastain needs to own his shit and stop being a baby. That's what I'm going to say about that. So.
No, you're perfectly right.
So, unless you got anything else to add, we will move on. About Darlington, at least.
Not that I can think of in my head.
Overall, though, I thought it was a really good weekend of racing for all 3 series. And that's something you always want to look forward to. So that's good. Darlington seems to be pretty unaffected by the new car. Even last year's races weren't great, but they weren't. Well, the spring one has been the better of the two with the new car so far. Obviously, we still haven't ran this year's Labor Day race, so we don't know what it's going to be like. But even last year's Labor Day race was pretty good, though it was marred by mechanical failures. So we'll see if that happens again this year or not. But Darlington seems to overall be pretty unaffected by the new car, and the lower series has put on a really good show as well. So overall, good weekend there. All right, it is actually, we'll save the diecast for a little later. Let's talk about some penalties that came from Darlington. There were 2 of them. The 45 team, Tyler Reddick, penalized 10 driver and 10 owner points for, get ready for this, I'm quoting this, added ballast. Ballast? What the fuck is ballast? This was during a pre-qualifying inspection as well, by the way. I just want to put that out there. So, let's look at what ballast is. All right, so apparently it's a noun. Heavy material such as gravel, sand, iron, or lead placed low in a vessel to improve its stability. Well, I don't think they were driving boats around Darlington last let's look at the other definition. Gravel or coarse stone used to form the bed of a railroad track or road. Well, that definitely wasn't it either, because it was in the car. It's also a verb. It's got 2 definitions as a verb as well. It says give stability to a ship. Oh, same thing. Give stability to a ship by putting a heavy substance in the bilge. Okay. Or same thing, just put in different context, I guess. That's the first two
All right.
definitions. So I guess we'll go with the first one. It was to improve the stability of the car, I guess. I don't know why they would need that. If it's like something for a boat, it doesn't. I don't know why that would really help. I think
Right.
enforcing it as being called pre-qualifying, I think, is also pretty stupid. Like, just have him start in the rear of the field and tell him to get rid of it. Like, if it came back up in like pre-race inspection, post-race inspection, something like that, that would make more sense. But it was pre-qualifying. Just make them fix it and penalize them for like a starting position. Don't penalize them after the race. It makes no sense. Whatnot. The other penalization was was from the 43 team. Two pit crew members have been suspended for 2 races on the 43 team. This is because, again, I talked about the first big one during the Cup race at Darlington because Eric Jones lost a tire, and that's what it's for. He lost like the full wheel, came out completely off the car. That's what caused the crash. And of course, pretty standard procedure. Happens on pit road, happens on the track. Lose penalizations and suspensions and whatnot. So they are suspended as that. So nothing too crazy there. So racing related news, but not NASCAR related news. This is pretty big though. It actually comes out of Formula One. Their Grand Prix of Imonia, IMONA. They canceled it completely. It's supposed to be this weekend, and they just flat out canceled it, which is very uncharacteristic. You know, you're talking about F1, IndyCar, NASCAR. It's pretty uncharacteristic just to cancel an event, you know, just a few days prior to it happening. Well, apparently the reason why they canceled it was because of the floods that came to northern Italy this week. Apparently there's a lot of destruction and death and all that kind of stuff. So F1 found it unsafe and I guess also immoral to have the event over the course of the weekend. So out of respect to everyone affected by the floods, they decided to cancel the race. So it's good reasoning, fair decision, fair point, good decision there, I think, by them. So I'm fine with that. It's a good way to show respect for everybody involved, but kind of sucks that the event's canceled. Not really. And really, the only other piece of news I had, Jordan Taylor is going to be running the Portland Xfinity race for Colleague. So when they go to Portland for that road course-ish place, they're going to be running for Colleague. So that's pretty cool. Then what number of the car has not been announced yet, but he's going to be running the race. So that's pretty cool. And then otherwise, it's time to show off these die casts. Bought them for my birthday. This first review I know has come out already, so I'll do it first. Also, the second one's my more favorite of the two. Anyways. And it's this guy.
That's the Oreo Dale Earnhardt Jr.
From 06. Oh, I just realized this sticker is upside down. It's weird. Huh. Sticker's like reapplied. It had to have been reapplied. Or maybe I've got no, everything else is right side up. It's definitely upside down. That's wild. I just realized that. Also, I don't know why. I don't know why it's a special paint scheme on the box. That's so weird. I mean, it's cool paint scheme. It's not really what I call. It's pretty special because it's Oreo, but I don't know. Maybe the reason why it says this is because I looked everywhere for this because I wanted to get this paint scheme. I wanted to get this car last year, really. When I found that 3-pack on eBay for like $25, this one was part of it. But I had to send that back because they were 164s and not 124s as they were advertised. So, but I was specifically looking for this one. That's why I got it. The other two were just bonus. And from when I was looking for this car individually, most of the options I found were actually in color chrome. It's wild because this is an Xfinity car, not a Cup car. It's in color chrome. Nowadays, they don't even do color chrome for anything, I don't think, anymore. Let alone do it for an Xfinity car at all. So that's pretty wild. But probably because it was Dale Jr., they made an exception. They usually do that. Got the
Pretty
stupid
much.
sock. This was the only one that wasn't color chrome that I could find. So I'll say I'm not a big fan of the color chromes. I'm sure some people are, and some of them look pretty cool, but not my type. You know, there's not something that really I feel like, oh, I want this over the real thing. You know, well, I guess they're not the real thing, but you know what I mean. Anyway, here's this beauty. Or
It ain't bad.
yeah, it's pretty freaking nice. I would assume he ran this at Daytona.
I would assume so, yeah. Either that or Charlotte.
Because it looks like it would work well under the lights for colors and whatnot. So, but yeah, I like this one. Glad I have it. That was cool shit. Put this one away. So I know that review already came out. I don't know if this other one did, though. I'm going to look real quick. Just make sure. It might come out on Thursday. We're recording this a day early because my work schedule. We were going to record this on Thursday, and then my work schedule got changed. I work now in the nighttime and not like in the afternoon, so I can't really do Thursday. But see if it was coming out. Nope. No, it has not come out yet at the time of this going up. So you get a little sneak peek, podcast enjoyers. It will be coming out next Tuesday, so you can just watch it then if you want. Now I gotta say, this one I have been waiting to get for a long time. The only reason I haven't gotten it is because of how expensive this guy was. But somebody was selling this online for a good price. I jumped on it. It's in great condition. I'm really happy to have it. And it's one of my more prized, wannabe prized editions. And it is this bad boy.
Oh, that's the exact look-alike.
He ran this. I remember this night exactly because I won the race. So I didn't win the race. I watched the race. He ran this in 2010 at the Xfinity Summer Daytona race. And it's exact replica of the Wrangler 3 that his dad ran. And he won the race. So that is why this car runs for usually about $250. I got it for $70 on eBay. So huge steal there. In fact, it's got a sticker on the barcode with a price that this guy probably paid for this thing. $170, and I got it for $70. I don't know what that guy was thinking, but I don't care. I got the car. It's got this cool thing on the box. I'm gonna read it because we got some time to kill. Talks about the car, everything that went into it, but family, honor, tradition, Earnhardt. Through a joint effort between Richard Childress Racing, Junior Motorsports, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, RIP, and VF Jeanswear, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will drive the 3 Wrangler Chevrolet Impala on July 2nd in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, now Xfinity Series, race at Daytona International Speedway. The number 3 Wrangler Chevrolet Impala is an RCR entry, which was built and prepared by Junior Motorsports. And that's wild to me. Junior Motorsports built this car and prepared it, but it was entered by RCR. Probably because the 3 is owned by RCR, but still, I think that's pretty crazy. This was an idea that came up as a way to pay tribute to my dad, and it's pretty cool that it's a collaborative effort between Junior Motorsports, RCR, and DEI. Again, RIP, said Earnhardt. The Wrangler car is definitely in the top 10 of coolest cars that have ever been on a racetrack. I don't know if I would agree with him. There might be a slight instance of bias there, seeing that he's related to the family, the driver of this car, but still a decent paint scheme nonetheless. A lot of people identify with it, and I can't think of a better way to honor my dad and celebrate his induction into the NASCAR Hall of Fame than to bring in the Wrangler colors back with the number 3 on the side, just as it looked in the 80s. I think it will be worth seeing, and I'm looking forward to driving it at Daytona. And you brought it into Victory Lane. So, this was the year that Earnhardt... It's even actually... I don't know. It's got a platinum... It's part of the Platinum series. Anyway, I'm going to open it. Got a couple of cards here with it. Just stuff. Congratulations on your purchase. An exciting feature has been added to the Motorsports Authentics collection, collector's grade diecast cars. Each piece is produced to its own unique diecast identification number, or the DIN. The DIN, visible through the car's back window, allows collectors the opportunity to register their diecast online and create their own virtual garage. I 100% can confirm that does not work anymore. There's no way in hell it does, but this program was designed for the most passionate collectors who would like to enhance the value of their collection. With this tool, you can maintain your car's authenticity and manage your collection through the My Garage feature. Register your diecast today at a website that nobody cares about. I'm going to sell that one. To protect your new diecast car in transit, Motorsports Authentics has specifically designed the foam packaging to secure the car in transit. Follow these steps and detach the car safely. Remove the foam box. Do not remove the lid or cut tape. Well, there wasn't any tape, so someone must have cut it. Turn foam box over so that yeah. How to remove the screws. I don't need instructions. Moving on here. So I don't know if it'll show on the bottom of the... I guess you can see it. So this thing had screws in it. I don't know why. I've removed them now, but it screws in it. So tell me why when it's supposed to be connected via screws on the bottom of the box like this, you also include a sock for the car to go in. What? Makes no sense at all. Maybe the guy put this in here. Maybe he put this in here like from a different car to just keep it fresh. I don't know. But why? Makes no sense. The screws, by the way, are super, super stupidly hard to get out. I don't know why this guy had screws in it. It's Wrangler. Oh, shit. The box came out. Fuck. Okay. But, I was always led to believe when I was younger, because I had diecast 164 and 124 that had screws on them. I was always led to believe by people, that my family, people I talked to at the races, and when I look online, that the screws on the diecasts were always meant because they were always on cars with alcohol on them. The Budweiser cars, the Miller Lite cars, the Coors Light cars, all that kind of stuff to help to deter kids from playing with the cars and getting any ideas of trying alcohol. That's what I always was led to believe. Now they do it with Monster Energy. I think even the NOS cars have screws on them. That makes sense. Energy drinks that are very harmful to you, especially when you're younger. So tell me why the fuck a Wrangler car has to have screws? What the hell is Wrangler gonna
It's pretty
Dude,
dangerous to you.
I don't know, is it supposed to inflict you with like some right wing propaganda or some shit that's supposed to like rot your brain away? Is that what
Hey,
there's
America.
Attention Wrangler Company, is that what it's supposed to be? Highly doubt it, but not too far of the realm of possibility. Anyways, let's look at this guy. There she is.
Hmm.
I can't give this a good 10 out of 10 on the rating because it's yellow and blue, and I hate the Wolverines. But you put Wrangler on the car instead of the Wolverines, it's fucking incredible, dude. I gotta find a place on my shelves for this car. It's been a while since I've replaced a car on the shelves, but this thing definitely is getting a spot on the shelves somewhere. I don't know what it's going to replace yet. It's been down here ever since I got it. So I was waiting for the podcast to show it off, but it looks incredible. The only thing that's really wrong with it is on the side here. It looks like the tire is in too far. It just feels like, maybe it's me in person to see it. It just looks like it's in too far, or like the cover for the tire, like this part is like out too far. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's not a huge deal. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to be that way. I don't know. It just looks a little off, but maybe it's supposed to be that way. I don't know. But anyways, this guy was a steal, and really glad to have it in my collection. It was not my top prized diecast that I want. That honor still goes to the Dark Knight Rises scheme that he ran 2 years later, and I saw him winning. Prices are still really high for that. Maybe there is hope. There is hope. I got this guy. There is hope that the Dark Knight Rises car will. Somebody will put it on eBay for like $60 or something one day, and I can get a steal. Only God will know, but maybe one day. So, but yeah,
And then I did the Jimmy Johnson Superman one.
yeah, maybe one day I'll get the Batman and Superman pair. I have them both in 164, but not in the 124. But those are running even higher than the Dark Knight Rises card. Another one on my high priority list is Talladega car that I ran also in 2010. That one was barely made though, so and it's also a Dale Jr., so it's running higher. His view from 2013, his Do SA car. I found one on eBay. I really wanted it. Found one on eBay. It's like $300 because it was autographed. But oh well. So, but anyways, 2 new additions to the collection. Show them off both at the same time here. These might be my last 2 124 editions for a while, but maybe not. We'll see. Gonna find a place for them. So it's pretty cool shit there. So. Anyway, that's really all the stuff that I had. I don't know if you got anything else to add about anything like any die. I don't know if you went through and got a die cast or you got Corgan Oil news or anything like that you want to talk about.
Um, I did order the DuPont looking William Byron one from last year, and I'm soon going to be ordering the William Byron of this year because I am destined. And then my friend wants to get the Kevin Harvick one.
Hey, go for it. And it's 2 really cool looking paint schemes. I liked his last year's look than this one because, of course, I resonated with it more because I watched that look growing up. But
Mm-hmm.
I still think they look really cool. Might be able to get a good deal on a race win version for the one he ran this year if they make one.
Yeah,
That'll
probably.
it'll run you a little money, but maybe who knows. So, well, that's cool. Whenever it gets here, we can you can show it off on the podcast. It'll look great. So, and
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any news about Corrigan Oil. They did have their first race of the season. Well, first races of the
It was a
season.
sold out crowd.
It was? Damn.
It was a sold out crowd. So
Holy.
hopefully the next one will be sold out too.
We should try and go to that next one. I don't even remember what it is.
I think it's this Friday, but I don't know if I work or not.
Oh, this Friday? I can't do this Friday. Shit. I work. Well, we'll go eventually this summer. We got a couple chances, but I'm glad it's sold out. That shows that there's still a lot of support behind the track and whatnot. I'm sure the news about it closing circulated, and that's going to help bring in more ticket revenue and concession revenue, and maybe merchandise revenue and that kind of stuff to help try and get
Mm-hmm.
it, keep it afloat and whatnot. But so that's really good stuff to hear. Well, unless you got anything else, I think we're good to do our preview of this weekend's action. It is coveted. We've waited for this for so long. North Wilkesboro is back, ladies and gentlemen. I saw NASCAR made a post on their Instagram the other day about the renovations that they are complete and they're ready to go. And it looks incredible. They did a really good job at preserving the original look of the track, but also making it look more modern. Basically, what they did is just overhauled everything. They just uplifted everything. Took all the Winston branding out, obviously. But other than that, kept the same looks and colors and font designs and whatnot. And I think that's really, really cool. They're running races there all week for modifieds and whatnot, but NASCAR is there this weekend. So let's see here. So of course, the Cup race is there for the All-Star race, but the Truck Series is also running a points-paying race there this weekend on Saturday during the day. So I will have to make. Well, shit. No, I work. I work during the race. God, why do I work during what? Why do I work during every race? But that's cool that the trucks are coming back as well. So we'll preview them first, and of course the Cup Series is doing the All Star race there too. So, but yeah. So, what is your prediction for the Truck North Wilkesboro race?
Let me get the. Hold on. Sure. Do full standings. Why not? I'm gonna go with Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes. Interesting. Um, Honestly, this one's a toss up because it's been almost 30 years since NASCAR's raced in North Wilkesboro. Usually I'd say, oh, you know, the racing's probably going to suck because they're going to Texas, or it's going to be a demolition derby because they're going to Daytona, or it's going to be really good because they're going to somewhere. But, I mean, they have no active driver has raced at North Wilkesboro ever, at least in NASCAR. They have been doing like modified races in there and whatnot. So,
I thought Kevin Harvick raced there once.
like I said, they might have him for like a modified or like a special event or whatnot. But no, the last race there was in 1996. So that
Hmm.
was before Harvick got into the Cup Series. I don't know if they did lower division races before then. So maybe he did though. I don't remember. But my prediction though for the win, because I think we're going to see some crazy-ish racing. I don't think we're going to see anything too out there. I have looked back on some of the North Wilkesboro races in the last few years it was open, including its very final race in 1996, and the racing is it's not what was the word to put out for this? It's not like prime Bristol craziness, like 2000, early 2000s Bristol kind of craziness under the lights. But it's not. I don't think we're gonna see anything like we see at Martinsville with like just the conveyor belt, impossible to pass kind of crap either. I think we're gonna see a lot of groovy racing, a lot of grooves to race on. But I think it's gonna be pretty tame all throughout. For the most part, at least till we get to the end. I think we are going to see some pretty crazy stuff. It is North Wilkesboro. It's not like a large track by any means. So my prediction, though, I'm probably going to have to go with. You know what? You know what? We're going North Wilkesboro. First race back in almost 30 years. Why don't we have our first female NASCAR winner? I want to pick Haley Deegan to win this race.
Okay, that would actually be cool.
That would be really cool to see her win that, actually. All right, and that's the Cup Series time. Now this one's a little more difficult to choose. Excuse me. Cause it's the All-Star race. You know, the full field is not locked into the race. So,
Sorry, I was talking to my dog.
so it's a little more difficult to pick who is going to win because they've got the open race that will lock drivers in. Will lock some drivers in. There's a fan vote that's been going on for a couple weeks now, as well. So I'm gonna look and see who's already in the race. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Or is it? Let me see. Okay, so here are all the drivers that are already locked in based off of winning a race or previously winning the All-Star race. Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron are all already locked in. And then the other 16 drivers that will attempt to race their way in to the event. Corey LaJoie, Eric Almirola, Chandler Smith, J.J. Yaley, A.J. Allmendinger, Harrison Burton, Justin Haley, Mike McDowell, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Preece, Noah Gragson, Josh Bray. Oh my God, we forgot to talk about Ryan Newman. Hold on. He made his Cup return this weekend at Darlington. And as a lot of people probably expected, since he was running Rick Ware equipment, he did not do that right. Got caught up in a couple incidents, had a couple spins, was running in the back of the pack, but he had a cool throwback. It was cool to see him back on the track. Anyway, he's going to be there. Ty Gibbs, Ty Dillon, and BJ McLeod. Those are the other drivers. 16 drivers that will attempt to race their way into the event. So 3 drivers still have to race their way in. So 2 will get in based off of the highest finishers, and then 1 will get in off of a fan vote. So I don't know how you want to do this. Do we want to pick the Open and then also pick the All-Star race, or do we just want to pick the All-Star race?
I think we should just pick the All-Star race because the All-Star Open is just for, drivers that are trying to get in.
All right. So we'll keep it limited to the 21 drivers that are already in, just so we don't have to pick on a limb and just hope that the driver we pick makes it into the race. Now, as cool as it would be, now I think it really, again, this is a very historic race. It would be cool to see any of these drivers win. It'd be cool to see William Byron win because it's 24, won the last race, win the first race back. That would be really cool to see. It'd be cool to see Eric Jones win in the 43, put the 43 back in victory lane at North Wilkesboro. I think that would be pretty cool as well. It would be cool to see Austin Dillon win in the 3, put the 3 back in victory lane here. It'd be cool to see a lot of these. But I think there would be none cooler than to see Kevin Harvick get into victory lane with his throwback 29 paint scheme at North Wilkesboro and win the All-Star race. I think that would just be the most historic, the most ceremonial way to go out and do it. And I really couldn't. I think that's the most storybook way to reintroduce the Cup Series to North Wilkesboro, in my opinion. I think it'd be cool. So that's who I'm picking to win the race. I don't know what to do the hat. The hat would screw everything up today. So
I don't even know where the frickin' things are. They're somewhere on my floor. So I don't think I can do the hat.
all right, who do you think will win the All-Star race?
I'm gonna go with Byron.
That's a good pick. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if William Byron won. Harvick or Byron, I think, would be the two that would be the coolest to win this race. But really, it'd be really cool if anybody won this race, in my opinion. Just because I think it's just going to be cool to see this race on TV. I would never have thought in my life that I would get to see a race on TV at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Live TV. Like, that is absolutely crazy that this track that was just left for dead in the countryside of North Carolina for almost 30 years, NASCAR just said, fuck it, we ball, and brought it back. That is astounding, and that's a rare W on their part, but it is a massive W nonetheless. So alrighty, well, that's all we had today for this episode of the Talkin' NASCAR podcast. Ready to go enjoy this All-Star weekend. So we will be back next week with another episode. We'll recap what happened at North Wilkesboro, and we will get ready for Memorial Day weekend racing down at Charlotte and all the other awesome races that happen next weekend as well. I will also be playing a new NASCAR game soon. Well, it's not going to be a new game. It's a new game for me. But I will be playing that soon. That won't be probably the next episode. It'll probably be the one after that. But I just confirmed that today. Hopefully Hitmaster Diecast gets here soon so we can show it off here on the podcast. And that'll be awesome. But we'll talk about other news and other awesome stuff as well. So that's going to do it, though, for this podcast episode and this video. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast, join the Pringle Son & Company Discord and request the Talkin' NASCAR role, and we will get you on as soon as possible. So, but otherwise, stay tuned for the next episode. Stay tuned for much more other amazing content as well. Go subscribe to Hitmaster, and make sure you're subbed to me as well. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Goodbye.